Have you ever wondered about the secrets that lie deep within the forest? A young boy not more than 12 winters old certainly did. Living on the edge of the vast woods, he was raised on tales of the ancient trees, the hidden creatures, and the mysteries they held. Yet he had never dared to venture far into its depths. Until now. Today, curiosity stirred within him, stronger than any fear. He yearned to see with his own eyes what had been concealed by the forest's dense foliage. He craved the thrill of the unknown, the allure of the unseen. And so, with a heart pounding like a war drum and a spirit as bright as 1,000 suns, he made his decision. The forest, with its whispers and shadows, was calling to him, beckoning him to step beyond the familiar. And he answered. So off he went, stepping onto the unseen path. The deeper he went, the more the woods began to whisper. A shroud of mystery enveloped the young adventurer as he ventured further into the heart of the forest. The rustling leaves and the creaking branches echoed like hushed voices, murmuring cryptic tales of the woods. The soft, eerie hum of the nocturnal creatures became the rhythm to his journey, a chilling lullaby whispered by the forest itself. Shadows danced between the gnarled trees, painting fleeting images on the forest floor. The boy's eyes darted from one shadowy figure to another, his heart pounding in his chest like a frantic drum. The once familiar woods now seemed like a labyrinth of darkness, a puzzle that twisted and turned with every step he took. A cold shiver raced down his spine, the chill of the night air seeping into his bones. It was a raw, primal fear, one that whispered of unknown dangers lurking just out of sight. Yet beneath this fear, there was something else. A spark of curiosity, a flicker of determination that refused to be extinguished. Despite the growing dread that gnawed at his courage, the boy continued his journey. Every crunch of leaves underfoot, every rustle in the underbrush fueled his resolve. There was an inexplicable pull, a magnetic force that compelled him deeper into the whispering woods. Yet the boy pressed on, drawn by a force he could not comprehend. In the heart of the forest, the path disappeared. The boy, once filled with adventure, is now awash with a creeping dread. The familiar trail that he had trodden countless times had vanished, swallowed by the gnarled roots and shadows of the towering trees. His heart pounded in his chest like a wild drum, each beat echoing his growing fear. Panic clawed at his sanity, whispering tales of despair in his ear. He spun in circles, his eyes darting from one tree to another, but they all looked the same. His lungs filled with the cold, damp air of the forest, each breath tasting of moss and fear. He tried to retrace his steps, his small feet stumbling over hidden roots and fallen leaves, but every direction led him deeper into the heart of the forest, further away from the safety of the well-trodden path. The forest seemed to close in around him, its towering trees bending low, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The boy clutched his coat tighter around him, as if the thin fabric could shield him from the growing menace. The silence was shattered by a low growl, a sound that seemed to shake the very ground beneath his feet. He squinted into the darkness, his heart skipping a beat as he saw pairs of glowing eyes watching him from the shadows. A chill ran down his spine, the realization hitting him like a cold wave. He was not alone in the forest. Something was watching him. The air grew heavy, a shroud of dread wrapping itself around the young boy. He could feel it, an unseen presence lurking in the shadowy depths of the forest. The whispering wind carried a tale of menace, of unseen eyes intently following his every move. The forest suddenly seemed alive, its ancient trees whispering secrets of the dark. A chilling rustle of dried leaves, a sudden snap of twigs under unseen weight, echoed through the silence. It felt as if the very forest was breathing, its breath cold against his neck. A dark shadow darted between the trees, quick as a fleeting thought. It was just a blink, a momentary lapse, yet enough to send a shiver down his spine. The boy stood frozen, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. And then, out of the darkness came a growl that froze his blood. The growl echoed through the forest, a chilling promise of danger. The unseen presence had revealed itself. The boy, paralyzed by fear, came face to face with the creature that had been stalking him. His heart pounded in his chest like a wild drum, his breath hitching in his throat. The creature was larger than he had imagined, a monstrous silhouette against the gloomy forest backdrop. Its eyes glowed ominously in the darkness, and a low growl rumbled from its throat. Caught in the beast's gaze, the boy realized he had to fight for his life. The boy, driven by pure survival instinct, lunged at the creature with a sharp stick he had been carrying. The creature roared in surprise, giving the boy just enough time to break free from its terrifying gaze. He ran, his breath ragged, his heart pounding like a war drum. The boy didn't look back. He couldn't. The fear of the creature catching up was the only thing propelling him forward. The boy finally reached the edge of the forest, his village in sight. He had survived the forest, the creature, the unseen presence. But he would never forget the echoes in the dark, the unseen eyes watching him, the chilling growl that still echoed in his ears. The forest had left its mark, a chilling reminder of the encounter. Back in his village, the boy was forever changed. His breath still ragged, he looked back at the forest, its dark silhouette under the starry sky. Relief washed over him like a comforting blanket, gratitude for his safe return filling his heart. He looked at the forest with a newfound respect, a silent acknowledgement of its unseen inhabitants. The boy, once naive and fearless, now understood the power and the danger that lurked within the forest. He had survived, and he had learned. The boy decided to share his story, a cautionary tale for those who dared to venture into the forest. He would tell them about the unseen presence, the chilling growl, the monstrous silhouette. He would tell them about his encounter, his fear, his survival. And so, the echoes in the dark forest became a spine-chilling tale, passed down through generations. The boy had survived, but the forest had left its mark. And so, the boy's tale became a legend. The boy's words rippled through the village, stirring a mixture of fear and awe amongst his kin. Parents hushed their children with the tale, and the once inviting forest now wore an aura of mystery and respect. The villagers who once saw the forest as their playground now treaded cautiously, respecting the unseen boundaries. The forest had become more than a collection of trees and trails. It was a living entity, its breath the rustling of leaves, its voice the whispering wind. The boy's tale was passed down through generations, morphing, growing, becoming a part of their culture. The legend of the boy and the unseen presence lived on, imprinted in the hearts of the villagers. And as years turned into decades, and decades into centuries, the echo of the boy's encounter, his fear, his survival, continued to resonate in the depth of the whispering woods. And the echoes in the dark forest continued to whisper their spine-chilling tale.